What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for a quick live update because there have been some developments today um, ahead of what has been probably the strangest week of the year, and that includes the point deduction drama that went on all last season, basically, and all the things that happened last season. I think this one has been the weirdest one, but there have been some developments on that as well, and then we will touch a little bit on Lazio, and then we will wrap it up, obviously, as you always do. So like and subscribe if you are new or just old and never subscribe. Um, the Pogba one. So according to first Fabiano Della Valle a bit, and then Sky Sport, and with Sky Sport I mean Giovanni Guardiola, who is the club watcher for Sky Sport and has been for many years, like at least 10 as I can recall. He basically said that Pogba told management that he took something the club doctors were unaware of, and the substance was taken in America. It was recommended by a doctor or like a doctor friend, whatever you want to call it, and the club had no clue about it. And that's basically what happened. Now, before I went live, the news broke that he asked for his, I know, like a second test. Basically, he asked for it because it was up in the air. Like, when is he gonna ask for it? Blah blah blah. He did request it today, and a lot of people, a lot of ex-players, whatever, even Beppe Marotta made comments about it. But dialing back to Pogba actually telling the club what actually happened at this point is significant, because we need to take it as a fact. So we need to take that Sky Italia report and the Fabiano Della Valle report, as a fact. Otherwise, the video will make absolutely no sense. So let's take that as a fact that he admitted to the club that he took something. At that point, when I saw that news, I was like, this is extremely bad for him, because that means you already knew. Because it's not like he's sitting there and it's like, how did this happen? Like, where is it coming from? The fact that he already knows where it's coming from tells you he kind of knew what he was taking, what was happening at the time. And somebody told me, oh, it's not cocaine or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's not something ridiculous. I get that, but it's illegal for a professional player in Europe. So you cannot do that. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, there are rules, and we can debate if the rules are we can debate if the rules are stupid or not, like offside rules and all those things. That's fine. But as long as those rules are in place, you cannot cross them, because you know what the repercussions will be, and it's not looking good. The fact that he admitted, it's tells me like it's done. Like, it's absolutely done, because if he admits to the club, even like no matter what the second test does, because I think it will confirm, it will just confirm it. He made the most stupidest error a professional player could ever make, basically. And we are going off the news we have now at our disposal. And going off that news, he made the most stupidest decision you could have made as a professional player. You can't, like, this potentially can happen if you're playing in a lower league, and you know what, you actually have no clue that it's not allowed. And you know what, you play at a club where there is no club doctor or whatever, and they actually have no clue. He's one of the highest paid athletes in the world. And with high paid athletes, I mean like sponsorships, all those things. He is. Everybody knows Paul Pogba across the world. He knew, or his management, his team, whatever, they knew what was and it's sad. Like, I actually feel for him at one stage. I've said it in the last couple of days. I feel for him at a certain level, because you need to be extremely desperate to take something you knew you shouldn't be taking or using, whatever you want to call it. And that's like, I'm not in that position, so I cannot say, man, how Like, how can you do that? Because I'm not in this position. I don't know how desperate he is for him to make a quick recovery. But this is just like, you cannot write a more sad ending than this. You just can't. Do I think he will get 4 years suspended? I don't think it will be that much. I don't. If you look at the previous cases, I don't think it will be that much. But even if he gets suspended for like half a season, that means he hasn't played football for like 2 years. It's really not looking good for him. And as much as I can say, I do feel for it. Actually, I feel for the situation. Like, it shouldn't be ending like this. This is a really bad ending. But at the end of the day, if you admitted already that you took something you shouldn't be taking, and even if it wasn't for, even if it was for like healing purposes, basically, it's not okay. Like that, like, you cannot twist it. Like, you cannot turn it around. It's not okay to take it. Period. If you want to debate that, then you know what? Get the players association together and debate that, and try to make that change. I don't know, but you cannot do that on your own randomly. Also, like the video, people, because nobody's liking it. So do that now. But he knew what he was doing. So at that point, I can't, like, for that, at that level, I cannot be sorry for him. I cannot feel sorry for him, because you knew good and well what you were kind of doing over there. So it is what it is at this point. Will it affect our season? No, because I was not like, personally, my view on the season we should be having is not going to change, because I made my assessments on the season based on Pogba just being in and around the team, and you know what, the contribution not going to be that much. That's how I made my assessment on the season. So for me, it doesn't change anything, because he hasn't played for a year, and even this season, like, when he played, it's just barely, like, it's 20 minutes and whatever. So that doesn't change, in my opinion. It changed something for the club moving forward, and I'm already looking ahead. Let's say we do terminate the contract and he is gone. It saves the money. It saves the club a lot of money, but it also means you gotta need to replace him, and we already needed something on top of that as well. But I think that's something to talk about, down the line. I think it's a bit weird to talk about that now, because it's still fresh, and it's crazy, but at the same time, how do you want to say, like, it's not something you're thinking about all day, like, personally, like, it's sticking in your mind, and you're like, oh. And that's because he was never fit ever since he joined. Like, if he was a crucial player of the team, we will be absolutely shocked, and we will be, thinking about it all day long. But the fact that we're not thinking about it all day long, even if you scroll down through social media, tells you that, I think even the fans are like, yeah, it's done now. It's absolutely done. And it's crazy, but at the end of the day, like, he got the surgery too late. When the club said, get your surgery, he didn't listen. It got worse, picked up an injury, then got a surgery, missed all season. Like, you didn't listen once, and then you go back in training camp summer, trying to be ready, and you take something the club, like, you should, because if you're a professional player and you play at that level, the club like, you should tell the club anything you knows. Like, you take medication. They know everything. Like, they absolutely know everything. If you go to the dentist, they know. They should know. It's that, like, at that stage, it's that detailed. Like, they know everything about you. So the fact that you took something, like, I'm not, like, I haven't spoken about the club's perspective, because I have no idea how the club should be feeling now. With the club, I mean the management. They should be absolutely, I think they're fuming, they're confused, they're extremely disappointed. They should be, because your player lets you down. Your quote unquote big star in terms of attention worldwide lets you completely down and puts you in an extremely bad spotlight. I think the club should be fuming. They're handling it perfectly, because I'm not saying throw him to the streets, rip up the contract. It's too soon for that. Like, you cannot do that. I think the club is playing safely. I'm okay with that. But man, like when I think about it, I'm like, how? Like why? Like somebody like at one point he's gonna speak, and he will when it gets confirmed and he actually gets completely banned, and he leaves the club. At one point he will speak, but like even if he explains why, I personally will not get it. I won't. But let's see, I guess. But as of now, it's looking extremely bad. It's you kind of saying it's over. Like it feels like it's completely over. Um, I cannot get the comments up. Why can I? No. Oh, I messed up. Excuse me. Let me get the comments up. Should be working. It's not working. I'm sorry, I cannot get the comments up today. Let me get this one up here. Let me try again. Yeah, comments are not coming up. I'm not sure, but I will read them out anyway. Let me see. I would like to hear your opinion on Pogba's decision making for a guy that's 30-year-old experience in the game. Like, just your honest opinion. Honest, it's terrible. Like, you said, he's 30 years old. Like after what happened last summer with the injury, with the surgery, you saying no, it getting worse because you didn't listen. Like you're 30 years old. Like you should know better. Like it's as simple as that. Like it's bad. Like his decision making in the last couple of years has been extremely poor, and this one is unbelievable. Like this one is just crazy. This one tops any decision he ever made probably in his entire lifetime. Because this is really serious. Like it's not just a random thing. This is actually really really serious. Why is it not coming up? Uh, like this is extremely serious. So his decision making has been extremely poor, and it's alright to call it out because it is what it is. Like it is poor. It's poor. Do you think that? Do you think at the level Juventus didn't know about this? What level? I don't think the club knew about. Like from the stories, from the news reports, from him apparently admitting to the club, I took something from the club statement. It feels like the club had absolutely no clue, and they're extremely disappointing. Are the standards really that low at Juve when fans are gassing up one great pass by Locatelli the other day? What? That caught me off guard. I was talking about Pogba. That caught me completely off guard. I thought you loved Locatelli, by the way. R&B comes. Oh, you debated me for like an entire show a couple of weeks ago. No? Or I'm mistaken. But that caught me off guard. Forget about Locatelli for a minute. I was talking about Pogba. But yeah, let's see what will happen. Fagioli was asked about it because he won, I don't know, a gentleman's award. I don't know. He won something and he was asked about it. He didn't talk about it. Pepe Marotta talked about it, saying that it's still too early to talk because I think everybody's confused. And but man, like this is an extremely sad ending and something the club could be missing. Like even if he was not fit and he was not playing, like it's just adding to the drama. And I did the podcast with Julian. If you haven't watched it, go watch it and like that as well. Excuse me. But in that podcast with Julian, I said, at this point, I really feel for Allegri on a level that has nothing to do with on the field. It has nothing to do with on the field. Like I will criticize Allegri for what's happening on the field, but I feel sorry, and I feel sorry for myself for watching that. Gonna watch that press conference on Friday midday, and I'm just gonna hear journalists ask about Pogba and Bonucci. That's what's going to happen. And there will be only a few questions about Lazio. And even those questions will be, is he or he going to start? But no in-depth questions. I said it, and I believe, and I stand by it, on Sunday, excuse me, because the club has no communication at all. Like, they don't have real communication. Excuse me. So if the club is real and they want to be real again and they want to be serious again, on Friday, alongside Allegri, there should be sitting somebody from the management. And they should answer questions related to off the field stuff. But those questions should be answered by a management person, not Allegri. So they open it up and they ask, or they do it after Allegri's presser. If you have questions, or they put up a statement live, face to face, and they tell the journalist only ask Lazio related questions, because he has nothing to do with this. Like, the only thing he can say is that, yes, it's weird, and we were counting on Pogba to play this season and he's not in training, but we move on. That's what he's going to say, but the questions will be coming. And I'm like, we're here to face Lazio. We're not here to talk about Pogba or Bonucci crying. Like, we're not here for that. But that will happen on Friday, because the club has, in my opinion, has been very anonymous the last 2-3 years. Like, extremely anonymous. And that's why I feel sorry for Allegri at that point, because come on. Yes, he gets paid a lot of money, but this is ridiculous. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. So it's not gonna happen, but I do that. I expect that. I cannot put up the comments. I keep forgetting. Excuse me. Allegri must be pissed right now. He must, and he must be confused. People were pissed at Netfed for dancing with a woman. That's nothing compared to. Yeah, I wasn't pissed about that. I could care less what somebody does in his private life. I feel sorry for you too, bro, for only delivering bad news to us for more than a year. Yeah, like, it's not fun. Like, I'm already not optimistic, but this probably doesn't make the channel any better. But yeah, let's see what the second test will say, or let's see what the developments will be reported. Starting from next week, I'm assuming, not really starting from tomorrow, excuse me. But that's on the Pogba one. That's basically the main topic of the show. I really want to touch on Pogba, Bonucci really quickly. Will we get a replacement for Pogba? No. I tweeted it out. Like, I didn't have the energy to tweet out news about Papu Gomez, because I want to put a lot of news out there, but I'm not gonna put that news out there. Like, I have some, like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm absolutely not doing that. The club, like, so you're telling me the club now has a list of free agents? They just listed a random bunch of names that are free agents and linked it to the club. Like, it's lazy journalism. It's just to wind up the fans. It's just whatever. They're not looking at a replacement. They're not. Bonucci, really quickly, Bonucci, because somebody asked me about it again, because I did a podcast and I said a few things that rattled a few people. It's all about opinions. I give an opinion, and I will stick by that opinion. I keep it clean, so you do as well. Somebody asked me, what do you think about his wife Instagram post? I didn't read it. I'm not gonna read it. I'm not gonna even bother reading. It's like that meme, I'm sorry that happened, or like whatever, or happy for you, But I am reading entire page on Instagram from Bonucci's wife. Like, I'm not gonna do that, because I don't care. Like, he's not a Juve player anymore. The things happen. It's over with. It's done. I don't want to hear it anymore. The club told you what was gonna happen months in ahead. You were stubborn, as you'll always be, and it is what it is. You didn't listen. The club told you. They just kept their word. They just executed what they told you, and now you're acting all surprised and like a child. Like, I don't have time for that. Like, we have so many bigger issues at the club. I don't have time to read Instagram posts from Bonucci's wife, crying about the club. We have bigger fish to fries. And you know what? Bonucci doesn't come into play. Like, I don't need, like, the issue going into the season was everybody was fearing that Bonucci will be at the club. And now that this happened, a lot of people are saying, he will be good from the bench. He will not be good from the bench, because he came from the bench last season and he was crap. Like, are we forgetting that? because people do like to rewrite history, and now they turn around and be like, oh, he should have stayed. He could be, he could give the team a hand. Off the bench. Why didn't he do that last season? Why every time he played or he came from the bench, he was terrible and one of the worst players on that pitch? So what makes you think that he's gonna flip it up and return to prime Bonucci this season and help out the team? We already have Rugani, who apparently does that, coming from the bench and help us, which I doubt many times. We don't need a 36-year-old doing that as well. Like, we absolutely do not need that. He wasn't doing that last season. He was not gonna do it now. Hope he plays well for Berlin. Hope he wins the Champions League. I don't care. It's actually embarrassing what's actually happening. It is, because he's 36, and this feels like a thing you do when you are 16. It does, because this is the first time I see a player suing a club because he was told, you're not part of the group. You can come in training, but you're not training with the group. This is the first time. I don't have time for that. Like, we have a season to play. We have the Pogba thing to unfold. That's still unfolding, and yeah, like, we need to get back into the Champions League. We have financial issues. I don't want to worry about about Bonucci. Excuse me. Like, it's done. He's not a player anymore from us. At the end of the season, he's officially not a player, like, completely off the books, because now we're paying part of the wages, and then it's done. It's done. If you want to say he's a legend, good. I think that's disrespectful towards certain people. You don't. That's fine. It is what it is. Let's keep it moving. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous what he's doing. But yeah. Happy for you, or sorry that happened. Yeah, that one. He came running back from Milan, waiting for a second chance, wanting a second chance. Some nerve, which is a joke. De Chilio Rugani leaving when, going out like he's Antonio Brown. Nah, same vibes. I'm not gonna lie. It's it's the same vibes. Only there's no tape of it. It's just in courtrooms. But it's the same vibes, basically. It's the same vibes. It is what it is, man. Like, I don't know what he was like. I don't get it. Like, what? Like, why? Like I said in the podcast, like, he's suing the club for image damage. What damage? Nobody cared. Like, absolutely nobody cared. You were like, literally, anyone in the chat, let me know. Or have you seen something on social media that there was such an outburst, for 2 months in the summer, that people were like, oh my god, what is happening? Bring Bonucci back. I've seen nothing of that on social media. It got reported. I see a lot of people being happy. Finally, the club is serious. We're moving on from these players, and that's it. After 2 days, I never read anything about Bonucci. Only the news that he's doubting about joining Lazio or Berlin. Union Berlin, yes. I've not seen fans be like, oh my god, what's happening with Bonucci? Bring him back, blah, 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 all summer long. It didn't happen, so I'm not sure what he's talking about when he's saying my image has been damaged. What image? That image has been, like, that image you flushed down the toilet when you joined Milan and you scored a goal, or like a deflection, whatever, own goal, whatever you want to call it, and you tell millions of Juve fans to wash their mouth. That image, that day, you flushed that down the toilet. So don't come at me now, or don't come out and say my image has been damaged. That ship has sailed years ago, like literally years ago. So I'm not sure what he's on about. It's childish, it's ridiculous, it's pointless. Like, even if a question will come to Allegri should not respond to it. He should be just next question and keep it moving. That's what he needs to say. Next question, keep it moving, because don't waste time on that. It's just ridiculous. Never liked him. He was lucky to have Varzali next to him. Now he thinks he's a legend. Yeah, he thinks he's like one of the greats, whatever, like a real legend. Like, I thought he was good. I thought he was, at one point he was unbelievable. But yeah, there's nothing I can already see Pogba and Bonucci. Yeah. If Bonucci wins a lawsuit, should Allegri sue Juve for image damage? Yeah. Yeah, the using the children and the charity one is just like whatever. Like, it's calculated. Like, it is what it is, I guess. he should not win this case. Like if he wins this case, like it's open season for every single player out there. It will get like it will get crazy. It will get crazy. So we should not be winning that, you know. And the club should just, I mean, the family just should pay that charity from their own pockets, you know. Um, but yeah, that's the Bonucci one. What else I was gonna talk about? Uh, R&B comms talked about Locatelli. I've not watched any international football at all. Like I haven't, so I don't know if Locatelli play well. Like I have absolutely no idea. I've seen nothing. I've not even seen clips. I've seen one pass today because somebody clipped it, and that's about it. So I don't know um, if Locatelli play well, you know, because I've not watched Italy play. You know, I haven't. You know, and even if he did play well, good. You know, but I never said Locatelli is a crap player. The only thing I say with Locatelli is I don't see consistency, and that's as simple as that. As long as he doesn't show me consistency, I will never get convinced. You know, I don't like the position he plays. He says he can play it. Okay, then prove it to me. You know, and I hope you prove me wrong because that would help me mentally. It will help the team. But as of now, I just don't feel it in that position. I don't, you know, and it's as simple as that because I think he's a very good player. I do believe he's a very good player. Like he has all the tools to succeed. I just don't like him in that position. But yesterday he came out and he said, "I can play this position." Okay, you can. Now you prove it, you know. And with proving, I'm not saying play 20 minutes well and then disappear, or play one good well and then fade away. Do it consistently. That's all I'm asking. That's what I'm asking for many players, by the way, not just him. Um, is Chiesa good or injured? I think he will not play on Sunday or not start. Um, Loca is a beast. He should play at his preferred position. Yeah, but apparently yesterday he was a beast in the position he plays at Juve, and he said he can play it. So fine, like just do it then now. Like the video, people. Please like the video because it does help the channel out more than people can think. Um, I just think he's disappointed with the way he said goodbye. You probably thought he would get a farewell like Chiellini, Del Piero, Bonucci, or Buffon. Well, he said no to it. The club gave him the option. He didn't want to listen, so he cannot be upset about that. Let's hold players accountable too instead of talking the cheap way out of it. Just blame Allegri. Yeah, I blame Allegri position wise. I do because I like and things he asks from certain players. But when I see players just mess up basic stuff, then I'm like, yeah, that's on you. Like when McKennie's stripping over the ball, like that's not Allegri. That's on a McKennie being a very poor technical player, you know. And he can play well against Uzbekistan or Oman, whatever. Great. But man, there's a reason you look great against those players with all due respect. Like there is, because I've seen you play on a technical level. I'm talking about McKennie. You're not good enough. So I'm not gonna blame Allegri for McKennie tripping over the ball almost on a weekly basis because that's not on him. What's on him is him playing McKennie. That's a different thing. And that goes for any player, by the way, not McKennie, just McKennie. Remember, during the early summer, we can all focus on football. When will the circus show end? Yeah, I remember. I remember doing the last watch long. Was it against Atalanta? It was, and I said now we can focus on the season, and we haven't. You know, like I said, we started this channel in 2021. This is our first Locatelli. This is going into the third season of this channel, like literally. And I'm gonna say a good year we didn't speak about football. You know, we didn't. You know, management and crazy injuries and off the field stuff, and it's jarring. You know, for me, you know, because I need to do these videos. I still love to do it, but it's tough to make the video and be extremely excited. And somebody put a comment yesterday under my Bonucci video saying I'm putting the club in a bad spotlight because the way I speak about the club. It's not me. Like the news is out there. If you want people to sugarcoat it or go avoid the reality, avoid having a conversation, twisting words to make it sound like you're not that angry, and you're just brushing it to the side and whatever, and focus on things that are not relevant at this moment in time. Fine, like there are millions and other places you can get that, but I'm not gonna do that because if the moment I need to do that, I quit the channel. Like I just delete the channel. I don't post anything because I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm not doing this for subs or money, because if I'm doing this for subs or money, I would have quit it a long time ago, because this is costing money. Like doing this cost a lot of money, more than people could imagine. It's just a hobby. It's fun, It's really fun to do. It's fun to talk to everybody in the chat and whatever, If I want, like, you can start a YouTube channel and make a lot of money. Just be extremely positive and say the right things and whatever, and you will get invited, and you will get the insights, whatever, from journalists, club, whatever you want to say that. But man, that would tell me like that I need to fake it. I need to fake it completely, and I'm not gonna do that because I'm just doing this for fun. Like it's a hobby. Also because I do graphic design, and like it's just fun. Like it's as simple as that. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. So to the person, with all due respect, when you tell me Bonucci is an Azzurri legend, I couldn't care less. This is the Bianconeri zone, not the Azzurri zone, because a lot of people actually, I'm gonna say 75%, or maybe I'm pushing it, 65% of the subscribers, they don't support Italy. So for me to come on and be like, oh, but he's an Azzurri legend, so I will need to pump the brakes. A lot of the fans watching this show, they don't care. They don't support the Azzurri. So I will be talking about something that has absolutely nothing to do with the club and this channel. It's as simple as that. So I don't care. I'm not putting the club in a bad spotlight. They are doing that, not me. Like I'm not making up this news. I'm not taking doping. I'm not suing the club. I'm not manipulating the books or whatever you want to call it. That's not me. That's them. It's not me. I'm just reacting to it, and I can avoid this. Like I can avoid it. I could have done a video today on us being interested in Diarra, Thuram, and Kune from Gladbach. But how would have that video helped me, you, or anyone watching? Because that has nothing to do with what's happening at the club now. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. And I want to come on and talk about positive things, and the way we play and highlight certain things. I want, but actually, it would be ridiculous for me to now come on and talk about how Miretti played, against Turkey, or how Locatelli played, or how we played, and highlight certain stuff when these things are happening at the club. It will be absolutely crazy. So I'm not going to change my tune, nor is Julian, nor is Justin, because we will be faking it, and that's just not what this channel is about and will never be about. Like I said, you can put in the comments, that's the last time I watch, I unsubscribe. Fair. Like I'm not pushing anyone to watch what we put out there. Like it's up to you if you watch it or you don't watch it. Like it's as simple as that. But yeah, the moment the subscribers go up big time, you probably know what the jizz is, and we have sold out for the money basically. Because I know we're not gonna get a lot of subs and likes the way we operate on this channel. I know that in the short term, but in the long term, we will, because at the end of the day, I think me, Julian, and Justin, we just say what we think, period, and we don't care what anyone thinks. I know for a fact the club absolutely hates what we say on this channel. I know that for a fact. I actually have proof. I cannot show that, but there is proof that the club, they know about this channel. They know about all the channels on YouTube, by the way, and they don't love what we say on this channel. But I couldn't care less. I don't want to go on the Juve channel, because that means I need to speak in a way I don't speak. I need to tell them things. I need to say things I don't believe in, and I'll probably get told to avoid certain conversations. I'm not gonna do that. That's why I started this channel, but it is what it is. It is what it is. You speak the truth. I try. The truth. I just speak my opinion. If it's the truth or a lie, that's up for you guys to decide. I just say what I believe. Even if it's for some people ridiculous, it is what it is. I still believe what I say. If people are upset when negative news support a new team because that's the state of the club, yeah, like I don't make up the things. I've been solid. Thanks for watching for a very long time. I hope things turn around. I hope in the next couple of years we start winning stuff, because I want to talk about winning stuff. I want to be cocky. I want to be, I want to banter other clubs, but we're not in a position to do that. We're not. And that's when last season. Remember when we went on that streak, and I think we went like 10 games undefeated, was it? Or like, yeah, we didn't concede a goal for like 10 games or something like that. And Julian came on, and we said, you know what? I'll take it, but it's not good enough, and you can feel it's gonna crumble and it's gonna fall down completely very soon. It was 8, okay, 8, and it did. Like it crumbled, like, because you can see it was not good enough. We came on and we said we take it, it's a win, and we talked about the positive things, but the big picture was it's not good enough, it's not sustainable, and it's gonna fall apart, and it did. And it's not what I want, it's just what I believe and thought was gonna happen, and it did happen. I want to come on and be like, we're going to beat Lazio, we're going to beat Atalanta, or we're going to beat Torino, and we're going to go on a 10 winning streak, we're going to compete for the title. Like, I want to say these things, but man, I don't believe it. I think nobody believes that. Like, it's ridiculous, but it is what it is. It was 8. Oh, yeah, you said that. Yeah, I read that out. It was 8 games. It was just before the World Cup break, right? And then we said, like, oh, what will happen when we come back? Will it fall apart? Well, it did. Like, it completely fell apart. But yeah, I went on much longer than I wanted to, than I planned to do. So, but yeah, man, the Pogba thing, the Bonucci thing. I'm actually glad football is back. I was actually planning to do a lot of different stuff this week, and the schedule just completely took a turn, because we were planning to do much more stuff around the game, around Lazio, around the games coming up, all those things. But actually, there wasn't the time. Like, there wasn't the time. Lazio game prediction. I'm gonna do that on Friday. I'm gonna do my prediction live on Friday, and Julian will drop his preview also on Friday. That will drop as a pre-recorded video. So I'm gonna keep that for Friday. But this week I wanted to come on and talk about Lazio. I wanted to talk about, is Chiesa gonna be fit, how we're gonna replace Chiesa. But the week we've had has been so crazy that I didn't have time to do that. So I will do that tomorrow or on Friday during the preview, because I just want to watch football. Even if it's not gonna look good or whatever, I just want to watch football, because this is extremely jarring for a year now that we're talking about stuff that, we're talking about stuff we actually don't know much about. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm going off things the media feeds us, and even them are not certain on many things, and we are going off that and things we read and pick apart from social media and articles and give opinions. But we don't know about accounting. We don't know about Bonucci's suing the club and like the ins and out, or the Pogba situation. Like, it's just an opinion, but when you watch a game and you talk about a game, you can talk about what you've seen, and you can debate that. But this, like, it's just not fun. Like, it's not fun at all, but it is what it is. Like, it's a reality for us, and it probably will be for the remainder of the season, because this is not gonna go away. Like, the Pogba thing will hang around the crop all season. Same for Bonucci. It will just be there, and if the results go badly, it will just get worse. Not saying it will get badly, because I think we should be finishing top 4 without any issue, even with Pogba, because I didn't include Pogba in my prediction. But yeah, it starts back on Saturday. A tough game, but we will preview that on the channel starting from tomorrow. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this one up. Thanks everybody in the chat for joining. Like if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. Go watch my podcast with Julian. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what tomorrow is gonna happen. There will be a daily and or a live, and there could be potentially an after dark with Justin and Julian. So stay tuned for that. On Friday, preview, live preview, and Julian's preview. On Saturday, I'm out for a post game. I hope Julian will have a match reaction for you people. I will be back Sunday with my live show, hopefully with members, and the player ratings that will also be out on Sunday. So I won't be on the channel after the game, and maybe that's a good thing. Who knows? But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Have a good evening or day, and I will see you guys tomorrow or Friday.